What's going on, everybody? It's EricRayweather back here helping you take your game to the next level. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you a pro tip to make a tough defense even better in Madden 18. Now, if this is your first time checking out one of my videos and you want to improve your Madden game, go ahead and hit the subscribe button below. Make sure to hit the bell icon so that you join the notification squad and never miss an upload. So what's going on, guys? Like I said, today I'm going to be showing you how to make a tough defense even better in Madden 18, and this kind of goes back to a video I made recently where I was showing you different ways to beat Tampa 2, and that's the thing that's going on now this year is Tampa 2 is still, arguably could be the best coverage in the game, especially in like Ultimate Team when you have a lot of 91 zone coverage defensive backs. But as you run into better and more experienced players, they're not going to have trouble beating it like the average person you play. Now, yeah, if you're just playing an average person and they can't beat cover 2, then you're fine. You don't really even need to make any crazy adjustments. But the main adjustments we've been making to cover 2 this year, obviously, is just put the middle linebacker in the deep blue. And what that does for us is it's supposed to stop post routes. And then we're, going to lurk over the middle, drag, slants, things like that. And then the cloud flats, especially if you have 91 zone guys, they're going to play hard flats and cloud flats pretty good unless you throw certain route combos at it that can beat it. And that's the thing, good players know how to get their guys open in the flats versus 91 zone coverage cloud flats. You just throw dual drags on the field and you can't use them both. And then, like I showed you in the video, these deep blue middle linebackers are easy to beat now too, because, for example, I'll show again if you didn't see that video. Anytime you have a post route, it's going to defend it, but if you send a streak with the post route over the middle of the field, the linebacker is going to run with the streak every single time, and that's the problem. So you see here, we get our post open underneath. I'll go to the replay. Like I said, I did a whole video on this, but just so I can show you, what's really going on here. No longer can we rely on this linebacker to take away posts because people have wised up. They start throwing streaks at that side of the field, and you see how this middle linebacker, you see how he's drifting back with that streak. Even though this other linebacker's following the streak too, the middle linebacker's still respecting it, and that's allowing the post to get open underneath it. So smart players know how to beat it over the middle, and they know how to beat it in the flats. So you're thinking, well, what about over the middle of the field? But the thing is, over the middle of the field, these vert hooks, they don't really play, they don't clamp down on drags or clamp down on like slant routes. You have to take all of those away yourself. So you can't defend both drags in the flat. You can't defend the deep middle. You can't do all that. So what a lot of people are starting to do now, what the tough players, the experienced players are doing, this is starting to kind of catch fire now, and it's a great tactic. What you want to do with cover 2 is you want to shade underneath. So you do wire triangle down on the right stick, you shade underneath. But now you're saying, well, that's putting hard flats on the field. That's a terrible idea because corner routes are going to be wide open, fade routes wide open. You're going to give up huge plays, and you're right. But what you want to do after you shade underneath is you want to go put those guys back in cloud flats. So you get on them, you press A or X down on the left stick. Now you want to get over to the other cornerback quickly, so you just need to click a couple times, either B or circle, depending on what system you're on. You just click a couple times, and now you're over on this cornerback. Press A or X down on the left stick. Now he's in a cloud flat. So what happens now is that you still have your cloud flats out here, which is key. The cloud flats are what make cover 2 so good. But now these two vert hooks right here, because you technically told your defense to play underneath, they're going to clamp down now on drags and on slants. And now all you have to do is user this middle of the field yourself. You can manually take away post routes, or if there's no post route, you could sit over the middle. So what you're doing is you're making the defense better because you still have your cloud flats on the outside that can act as, hard flats too in certain situations. But because you have the vert hooks playing underneath, they're going to clamp down on any intermediate routes underneath, and you can manually take away the post now. Because before, you were putting your linebacker in the deep blue, so you're saying, okay, I don't have to worry about the post, but now people have found ways to beat that. So now the post really has to be your area to user, and you can allow these vert hooks now to clamp down on anything underneath. So let's show just an example here of what happens. So we'll send a drag and we'll send a slant going over the middle, and we'll try to hit both of them. So you see here, we go to this drag, look what happens. That vert hook picks it off now because we told him to play underneath. Now watch what happens. Let's go to the replay real quick, and then we're gonna watch what happens if we don't play underneath. But because we told him to play underneath, as soon as this drag came into his area, he breaks on it, and that is a pick 6. That is 6 points for you. Whereas before, you would just wait for this guy to run a few more yards, and then you would just be able to hit him in the flat, because drag routes will get open in the flats against cloud flats, because you see the cloud flat back there by Stephon Diggs. He's forced to run back with the corner route now. But now that you're playing underneath, you can jump these short routes. So now let's watch what happens. We don't play underneath. We're going to do the same exact route combo. We're not going to play underneath coverage. Watch what happens. Well, he actually defended it well there, which is weird. But I think that might be because, I don't know, maybe I did something wrong. So let's do it one more time. That's weird. He's not supposed to do that, but for whatever reason, he clamped down on it there. But typically, that's not going to be the case. That's what usually happens right there, wide open. I don't know why he clamped. I think he clamped down on it the other time because I did the play action, and he bit on the play action, but because he bit on the play action, it actually had him in good position to defend it. But you can see without the play action, look how far away he is. He's just nowhere near it. We're getting almost 10 yards on the drag. Now again, I'm going to play him underneath, and I'm going to put these guys out here back in their cloud flats, and now we're going to watch what happens. So, playing underneath coverage. It's coming. Bam. He's all over. And he didn't pick it that time, but he held it to a gain of like 2 yards. That's fine. You'll take that all day long. And the same thing's going to happen, like, watch, for example, if we play underneath. We'll just put this guy in his cloud flat. So, okay, let's just say for whatever reason, you know, you didn't like that. So you're like, all right, well, let me go to this. That's locked up too now. So you can't throw these intermediate routes when you play underneath, because you're forcing these vert hooks to like hold their ground. They're not going to drift back, and that's what's the problem with vert hooks, is that they just drift too far back. They're not smart enough to say, oh, I need to clamp down on this, it's coming in my area. They just drift too far back. When you tell your defense to play underneath, they stay where they want to stay. So now, for example, let's set up the defense in its entirety. So we're gonna set the offense up first, if I can just get this right. So we're gonna streak this guy, because we're gonna try to open the post, and we'll drag Thielen here. So this is how you set the defense up. Wire triangle, down on the right stick, that's underneath coverage. Now we go over here, A or X, down on the left stick, cycle over, A or X, down on the left stick. Now we have our cloud flats. So now what happens is they try to throw this post over the middle. This is you now. You're here. You're like, oh, you're trying to throw that post. Now I missed it because I'm using both controllers, so it's kind of hard to throw it on offense and pick it off on defense. But I was there to defend it. And that's what's going to happen now. They're not going to be able to get the posts open, but they're not going to be able to get these drags open either, because you're playing underneath. So you see, if you wanted to go to this drag, for example, bam, he's clamped down on. He's done. And then you look up the field, and you're like, okay, well, I'm just going to throw the post. Now, I'm here defending the post, but I can't, like I said, I can't get the pick because I'm using both controllers. But I'm here defending the post now. So, you know, if I didn't have to throw the ball on offense, I'm going to keep drifting back, and I'm going to pick that off. So now you've taken away the underneath stuff, but you've also taken away the post route. And this is what you want to do with cover 2 now. This is what the best players are doing now, because it's just you have to evolve as the game evolves. You know, cover 2 was so tough at the beginning of the year because people weren't used to 91 zone yet. They didn't know how to play against it. They weren't used to having a middle linebacker over the deep middle. People just didn't know how to play against it. But now, you know, we've adapted. We've said, okay, instead of flat routes, we're going to throw drag routes. And, you know, instead of throwing deep posts, we're going to throw short posts, or we're going to send a streak to occupy the deep zone and throw the post underneath it. We've adapted. So now the defense has to adapt with it. Play underneath coverage, put your cornerbacks in cloud flats, and then now you use the middle linebacker. And you take, if you see a post, you take it away. If not, if there's no post threat development, then you just stay home. You just stay right in between these hash marks, because both of these vert hooks right here, they're clamping down. They're gonna boom. They're gonna shoot. They're gonna shoot just like this, and they're gonna take away any slant or any drag that comes in their area. And these cloud flats will still be back here to shut down corner routes and deep out routes and fade routes. So it's really the best way to run cover 2 if you're going to use it. You don't want to run it the way we've been running it. I mean, you can still do that, because some people, you know, more average people still aren't comfortable beating it. But if you're running up against a more experienced player and they know what they're doing, you have to adjust, and this is the way to do it. So implement this in your game. Take your cover 2 defense, you know, back up to the top where it belongs, because it's kind of started to come back down. Take it back where it belongs. use these adjustments, and I guarantee you will get a lot more stops. You'll confuse a lot of people and just have them out of their game. So as always, if you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful, just drop a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.